Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, I did not think that you guys were gonna do it. I was like, there's no way they're gonna get 20,000 likes. I can save this story for a rainy day whenever I don't have one to tell. And you guys just killed it. You absolutely destroyed the like button, smacked it so hard that Mike Tyson got a little bit jealous. And now you guys get the finale. This is the last thing I have. As much as I wish I could be like, yo, 40,000 likes for a new story, I can't. That's not how this works because I don't have another one. This is the finale of this. So yeah, basically, for those of you guys who haven't seen the first two videos, I took a girl on a first date. She smelt really bad. She liked country music. She kissed like a dead fish. And she tried to convince me that I had to marry her. Like, after the first date that we were meant to be in, if I didn't marry her, she was going to put a curse on me. So she put a curse on me, basically saying that I would never find the love of my life, wouldn't leave me alone, started giving me letters all the time, and was overall just being an absolutely crazy psychopath, right? So, this is what happened after. Let's get into it, guys. Press the like button, by the way. So you would think after me telling her that I didn't want to marry her and her putting a curse on me and me still not dating her, she might have gotten the hint that I just really wanted nothing to do with her. But instead of me blocking her number or anything, she decided that that was just a challenge, you know? If a guy blocks your number, it's just a test to see if you're really committed to making him love you. And it's not. If someone blocks your number, they're blocking your number. Stop texting them, you weirdo. So as I mentioned, we had a class together, and she would basically every day bring like a note to class, basically a front and back letterhead, but on the letter was never English. It was like this chicken scratch scribbled Latin writing, and when I would ask her what it was, she would tell me it was details about the curse she put on me, so that way I just knew what I was getting myself into if I didn't date her. Like, what a considerate, crazy witch girlfriend, you know? She's just letting you know that if you don't date her, she's just gonna keep going ahead, reminding you every little bit what your curse is, except in a language you can't read. I don't really know what she was going for here. It was kind of like a bank reminding you that you're missing your payments or like overdrafted your account, except with hocus pocus tomfoolery and cursing me and saying that if I don't date her, I'm basically going to spend the rest of my life alone. So pretty PG family friendly stuff. Quick intermission to remind you to press the subscribe button because we're literally so close to 100K I can taste it the same way I can still taste the curse on my family. And so, like I said in the last story, there was harassment over text, but now that it was in person and I'm getting a letter every day, I'm just saving them because I can just tell that this lady is going to snap. There's no way a person putting curses on people and threatening them is not going to go a little bit more ballistic. And of course, I'm absolutely right. A few more weeks after receiving these chicken scratch letters every day, and all of them smelling like rat feces, and me having to keep them outside of my dorm in like a little cubby hole that I made in a bush, just because I didn't want to smell it, she does the unthinkable. I walk into class, and on a piece of paper on the note is a dead mouse. No, I'm not kidding you. I walked into class ready to study some Shakespearean English. I don't even remember what class it was. And sitting there on my desk is a dead mouse. Like, what a weird thing to wake up to, you know? I had just woken up. It's an 8 a.m. class. I walk on in, ready to deal with a crazy psychopathic witch, and sitting there is a dead mouse. No, thank you. So at this point, after class, I go up to her, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna have to report you to the dean's office. This is harassment. Like, I need you to stop. Please stop. I don't want to get you kicked out of school. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I really just do not think that I can continue going on with you leaving dead animals on my desk. Notes, whatever, they're funny, I guess, like in a weird way, but when you're leaving dead mice on my desk, I'm really not a fan. So I basically tell her that if I get another note, I am going to report it to the dean's office. I don't know what my options are at this point. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I don't want to snitch, but I also don't want more mice to die for her to leave this curse on me, okay? Like, I feel bad for poor Stuart Little out here. He just got adopted. Now his life was cut short. That's not good for anybody. That's some bad karma all around. So the look on her face is kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, I know you won't do it. And the next day, I walk into class, and sure enough, there's the note. A note. No dead mouse this time, but a note. And I look at her, and I walk back out of class. I go straight to the dean's office. I walk in. I make an appointment. And I tell him, this girl's going crazy, like she's harassing me. And he doesn't believe me. He's like, yeah, I'm sure you're being harassed by a girl. And that's when I whip out the stack of 50 to 60 notes that I had been getting at least 3 times a week that reminded me of the curse. And I go, these are the notes she's giving me every day. And his face is kind of like, oh, like maybe you are getting harassed. And then I bring up the fact that there was a dead mouse on my desk when I walked into class this day. And he was like, oh, yeah, maybe this is a little bit of harassment. I'm like, yeah, I know it is. Thank you for not believing me. I know it's ridiculous to assume that the 6'3" tall kid is getting harassed by a witch, but it's going on, all right? This is not the Avengers. This is not a good Scarlet Witch moment. I am not Vision. I'm getting harassed. I'm not a fan of it. And so he goes, all right, well, we're going to make an appointment so she can like plead her case. I'm like, yeah, because I don't want her to get in trouble. So I tell him, I just want her to leave me alone. I don't want her to get expelled. I don't want her to get in trouble. I literally just want to be left alone. That's all I want at this point. I don't want anyone's life to get ruined. So anyways, we get a meeting and we both walk in, and I'm expecting her to be like, oh, maybe I've gone a little bit too far. I'm a little crazy. My educational career is on the line here because I've been harassing this guy. I'll drop the whole act. But she basically starts yelling at the dean that he's an idiot for trying to keep us apart, and she'll curse him too. And moral of the story, if somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna have to expel you from school, the best option is not to threaten them with a curse like you're a pagan witch, all right? And all I'm imagining during this is that the dean's secretary is sitting outside listening to this screaming, praying to her little whatever she prays to, that she doesn't get cursed by some evil witch sitting in there screaming at the dean, you know? Like, imagine some poor innocent lady, she barely spoke any English, and she's just, oh no, please don't curse me, witch lady. Like, but I felt so bad for the poor girl because this girl sounds terrifying when she's screaming all about it. And the dean has this look on his face like, in my 30 years of experience, I have never experienced anything this crazy. Like some old ass bald white dude sitting here getting yelled at, basically told that there's a pagan witch on his campus that is going to curse him if he keeps her away from me. And the look on his face is absolutely priceless. It's one of those things where you're just kind of like enjoying the moment in a bad way. Like it's watching a train wreck, all right? This is a disaster. This girl is definitely not going down well. However, it's hilarious because she's screaming at our dean that she's going to curse him. So the dean finally gets her to calm down and goes, look, we're going to change your classes. If you talk to him, if you annoy him anymore, you are going to get expelled. This is not a joke. This is not funny. This is not witchcraft. If you mess with Ryan anymore, you will be expelled. And she goes, that's fine. Well, you won't expel me. I'll use my magic, blah, 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 blah. As if, like, your magic's clearly not working, okay? Clearly, your magic is not up to snuff if we're in the situation we're in. If your magic worked, I'd be in love with you. But I'm not. But whatever, crazy witch lady, this is fine. Like, you're just gonna get yourself expelled. It's gonna be fine. So sure enough, after the meeting, literally the next morning, I get a knock on my dorm room door. And I'm, like, expecting it to be a friend of mine. It's a little early, but that's okay. And sitting there in a full-on witch outfit is Goth Girl, basically saying that no decree of the dean can keep us apart and she knows we're meant to be together. And yesterday after the meeting, the dean had given me his card because he realized how absolutely insane this girl is. So I call him and I let him know what's going on, and he says, what's your dorm room number? So I give him the dorm room number, and in a few minutes campus security comes up and I tell them the whole situation, and they basically say, all right, well, the dean wants to see both of you. So we both walk over to the dean's office and sit down, and the dean goes, you're expelled. And the girl's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, yes, you are. I told you the only thing you had to do to not be expelled, the only thing you had to do not to be expelled was leave Ryan alone. And so she's like, no, I'm not getting expelled, which is a weird response. Sounds like the police arresting you and you're like, no, I'm just not. This is not illegal anymore. Bank robbery is now fine because I'm a witch, obviously. So basically, I'm sitting here not knowing what to do. And he goes, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't want her to get in trouble. It's just, it's getting a little weird. There's dead mice involved. There's letters. She's showing up at my dorm room. I don't know how she figured out where I live. This is the weird part of the situation is I don't know what else to do other than get her expelled, right? Because I don't want this crazy girl showing up in my well, I don't want to get human sacrificed. Like, listen, I'm still confused. A year later trying to tell this story, I'm still super confused. So she continues to argue with the dean, basically saying that she's not expelled. So at this point, the dean calls in security and they have to forcibly remove her from the campus and tell her not to come back. And he basically says that if she comes back again, the real police will be involved because she'll be cited for trespassing. And after this, I'm talking to the dean just like about the situation. He goes, you know, in all my years of being a dean, I have never seen a girl more crazy. I don't know what you did, but she was in love with you, man. And I was like, yeah. Well, you know, a good way to get me to fall in love with you is not to give me a dead rat on a piece of paper. I'll tell you that. I'm not a big fan of Chuck E. Cheese, especially after their gross pizza mishap. That was disgusting. But I definitely don't want a dead rat on my desk as a symbol of love, because to be honest, that has nothing to do with love, okay? Not once have I ever been sitting there watching a rom-com and been like, oh, Ryan Gosling, you get the girl way easier with a dead rat. Come on, bro. So yeah, as bad as I feel for snitching a little bit, I feel like I had to do what I had to do. And she got herself expelled more than anything by threatening to put curses on everybody. So if you are a witch and you are going to get talked to by the dean after trying to forcibly put a love curse on somebody, maybe don't threaten them too. It's not a good look. And then don't show up at the person's house the next morning, because that's definitely not a good look whatsoever. But yeah, on that note, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I've got to go get on a plane in like 20 minutes. I have all the videos scheduled out. Don't worry, my little children. I'm just taking a little break, but I worked ahead. I worked extra hard to get you guys stories for while I'm gone, so don't stress. Thank you guys so much for the support on this series. It's actually been incredible. It's got like the whole series, I think 40,000 likes already, and there's only 2 episodes, which is absolutely nuts. I do have a lot more crazy girl stories just because I can't seem to stay away from crazy chicks. It's my destiny to be with one, I guess. Maybe the love curse did work. So there'll be more coming eventually. Thank you guys all so much for the support. I hope you all have an incredible day. Like, comment, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. I'm out. Peace.